Today I'm going to show you how to color code and study your notes. All of us know that studying our notes is probably something we should do. But let's be honest, most of us don't even know what that means. With that being said, I'm going to show you how to study your notes by color coding them no matter what note-taking method you use. Let's get started. First, let's talk about the purpose of color coding or highlighting your notes. Human beings are very forgetful people, right? Wait, I was supposed to say something. What was my line again? Oh yeah, people are forgetful. My point exactly. Even if you take notes on something, if you don't look at it very soon after you write it down, you're gonna forget it. Because let's be honest, sometimes note-taking can seem like a very mindless task. You're listening or reading something and then just writing it down on another piece of paper. But when you color code your notes, you actually think about the information and organize it in a very meaningful way. My suggestion is you take 10 to 15 minutes right after you take your notes to color code them while the information is fresh. If you do that, when you study months later, the information will come right back to you. You can underline, circle, highlight, bold, or use different colors. The possibilities are endless. The whole point is you have a system that works for you and you stick to it. Be consistent. It is important to know that the way you color code your notes will change slightly based on the subject or topic you're taking notes on. I'll talk about that later in the video. If you found any value so far in the video, consider smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, and now let me explain how I color code my notes. After I take notes, I highlight any important information in blue. I write my essential question in red, and then I highlight in red any information that directly relates or answers the essential question. If I define any keywords, I bold the text. My summary and reflection will be in green, and then my questions in pink. There's nothing inherently special about these colors. The point is I'm consistent. I use this structure every single time I take notes. And then when I look at my notes weeks and months later, my brain can instantly understand the information because I've organized it in a very meaningful way. It is important to know that this part of my system stays the same no matter what topic or subject I'm taking notes on. But let me talk about how it actually changes. If you have seen any of my other videos, you know I talk a lot about how Batman is the greatest superhero in the DC universe. And for this example, I'm actually taking notes on an article on Batman. I'll color code my notes using the system I just showed you, but in addition, I'll highlight any information that shows how Batman is the greatest in yellow, which to be honest is a lot of information because he is the greatest, right? I guess. Now, as you're taking notes, I want you to think about any recurring themes, ideas, or topics that pop up as you take your notes, because that's going to tell you what to focus on when you color code them. For example, if you're taking notes in history class, you might also want to color code any important dates, people, places, or historical events, also causes and effects. Whereas in English, if you're taking notes on a book you're reading in class, maybe you want to focus on inferences or characters or setting or the themes you're seeing throughout the book. In science class, you may want to focus on a certain process, data you collected, a discovery you just made, or key terms. Like I said before, you will have a system you use every single time, but it will change slightly. So I want you to think about this question. Is there any specific information you need to focus on as you take these notes? Now enough talking. Let me actually show you how to color code your notes. I add my color coding system to the top of my notes. This makes it an easy reference guide, so when I study my notes months later, I know exactly what the colors mean. Like I said, my color coding system will slightly change, so this is a great way to track those changes. Next, I'm going to write my essential question in red, and then highlight any information that answers my essential question. My essential question is, who is Batman? So any information that tells me who Batman is going to be highlighted in red. Next, I go through and highlight any important information. This is information I think is necessary to know, but may not directly answer the essential question. A common mistake I see is that students highlight all the information as important. If everything is important, then nothing is important. Next, this is where my color coding system changes slightly. I'm going to go through and highlight any information that shows me that Batman is the greatest. The key thing here is I'm looking for details that really show me how Batman's great, not just tells me. I really want to highlight key examples of his greatness. Next, you can see that my summary, reflection, and questions are correctly color-coded at the bottom of my notes. To see exactly how to write a great summary, reflection, and questions, you'll have to check out my other videos. Then, as I scroll through my notes, I can see the different ways I've organized the information in a meaningful way. As you can see, your color coding technique does not change based on the note-taking method you use. Whether it's Cornell, outline, or another style, you follow the same system. I hope you were able to learn how to color code, study, and highlight your notes. If you have any questions or if this helped you, Let me know in the comments down below. Check out my complete playlist above on how to take effective notes. And then in the video description down below, I include free templates and examples for you to use when taking your notes. Make sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe. Adios.